What's up, guys? I can't welcome back. Today we're back with some more Tekking 101. And today we're acting the One Piece chapter 980 review. Drop the base. Now I know a little bit about the chapter. Just got heard about the whole controversy that was going on. Appearing like Zoro and Luffy got like it wasn't one shot, but it got pretty fucked up by like one of the supernova, the one that looks like a fucking like 80s dropout hip hop star. I forget what his name is. Apu. I think Apu is his name. Maybe I'm thinking wrong, but so I know a little bit, but I haven't done the whole chapter yet. And like I said, the reason I do this kind of reaction is because I love Tekking. I think his channel is amazing. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. I love how these goes all on the span, especially reviews. I love when he does reviews. And like I said, I can't react to the actual chapter. I figured this would be the second best thing. I ever watch these every time they come out. I know it's a bit late, but we'll get right into it. So make sure if you like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Make sure the link is down below what other chapters or other things you take you want me to react to, and there will be a link down below to Rizzo as well as to his channel, so you guys can go support him, and it's on my social media as well. Now I did know somebody had asked me before to do a reaction to like this One Piece D&D thing, and I will, but like they're like I know they were like 2 hours long, so you got to give me a bit, guys. But let's get into this.
Oh yeah, you know what this means, right? This is DJ Tekking and DJ Barry here with a mustache, and we're gonna blow you away with our sound today. That's right, this show is gonna be bombastic. It's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be a bunch of other B words. It's also gonna be shot on my backup camera because I forgot to charge my main camera last night, so that's just what we're gonna have to go with. But it's gonna be amazing, yeah! One Piece chapter 980 review titled Fighting Music. And you know what? This was really the most important part of this whole thing, because if you're going up against a Yonko, if you're going up against Kaido of the Beast Pirates, you need to have a really damn cool, backing track to that, cue up some AC/DC or some Metallica or something. Now, what is my fighting music? What music would I play if I'm going up against a Yonko? Well, I think we all know the answer to that. That's right. The Zoe 101 theme song. If you wanna play, come and play today. Let's just get away. Yeah! Thank you, Dan Schneider. You've helped me out in so many ways. If you wonder where the 101 comes from in my name, you think I just picked that out of a hat? No! It came from Zoe 101! Let's do this! Alright, cover page. We have what I think a lot of people figured was going to happen. We have Lola proposing to Gotti. Yes, I like you. Let's get married. And I'm feeling it, How many times has Lola tried to do the whole marriage proposal thing? I think 2 years ago when she proposed again to Frankie, I think it was something like 4,444 times. So that number has probably skyrocketed in the 2 years. And that number was when she was on Thriller Bark, isolated from the rest of the world. Lola gets out there probably every single town she goes to, probably, asking every guy on the street to marry her. So that number might very well easily be in the 5, maybe even the 6 digits at this point. But no, she goes up to Gotti and like, I like you. You saved me from the Marines. You reunited me with my long-lost sister. I got to meet my my nephew and my sister's husband and everything. And you guys seem like a nice crew. You're single. I don't see a ring on that finger, big boy. So, what do you think? So, I think this is going to be finally the happy ending there. I think Gotti he's a little surprised here. He's a little bit like, what? With the exclamation point. Probably doesn't get hit on very often by women, and I'll admit it is rather forward to just open up with like, hey, we've already been through a high-stakes chase through the town of through the island of Dressrosa with the Marines hot on our heels, which, by the way, that still might be happening. You guys are still out in the middle of the street. You should probably move away. The Marines are going to be curious who attacked their damn battleship, but they've already been through so much. That's already equivalent to, like, 300 dates and 4 years of being engaged. You're already set for marriage, okay? So, let's see how that works. This is not my clicker. This is...
If you can run from the wall together, you can stay together. Remember that, guys.
A flashlight that I'm pretending is a microphone for the purposes of this video. But at any rate, we get to the actual chapter. Okay, so we continue on what happened last time. If you don't remember, because it was 2 weeks ago, allow me to catch you up really briefly. So Luffy starts running off after Kid. Zoro starts running off after Luffy into Muffin Mountain. Now, I originally assumed this place where Luffy ended up, that big hallway, that like entrance hallway where they were doing the Golden Kagura, sort of like the opening rave to the Fire Festival led by Queen. I thought that was part of Kaido's manor, and it might possibly be, but it's more of just like, yeah, just like a large exhibition hallway. There's towers in the hall, so people can climb up the towers to like the balcony, and Queen is on a balcony singing along, doing his funky dance way at the top. Apu is DJing, but they still mention they're a little bit ways off from Kaido's manor, like proper. Okay, so this is more of just like the opening hallway in the middle of Muffin Mountain to do this big festival and this big rave dance number they're doing. People are getting drunk. It's crazy. Okay, so anyway, the thing that pissed Luffy off last chapter though was a bunch of the underlings of the Beast Pirates. They had all this Oshiroko, but they were throwing it out because like, Oshiroko, this is crap. We can't eat this shit with sake, and they're kicking it over and everything. And in this chapter, like, hey, wear the pot as a hat. That would be more use out of it. I'm like, hey, Bill, I have a better one. Watch this. Who am I? Oh my God, this Oshiruko, this crappy Oshiruko, this sweet red bean paste that I sifted out of the sand is the most delicious thing I've ever had in my life. He's like, who am I? Oh, you're a peasant from Okabore Town. Exactly right. Oh my God, those people are idiots. Being poor, starving to death. How lame, right? So Luffy, last time, he looked really mad, and I didn't know exactly what I expected Luffy to do. Like, well, I knew what Luffy was going to do, but I didn't know what level he was going to do it, right? I thought Luffy, I mean, these are just the underlings. These are just waiters and pleasures, probably. These aren't the high hitters on the crew or anything. So I thought Luffy was just going to be like, pistol or Gatling or whatever. Maybe a Hawk Gatling or step it up to gear second or something. No, Luffy opens this up with a gear third elephant gun. A freaking elephant gun. Jesus Christ, Luffy. Like, right in the middle of a crowd, he's like, how come you idiots get to eat all this Oshiruko and Tama gets nothing? Elephant gun! Boom! And he just slams the elephant gun on a random member of the Beast crew, and this guy, he just turns into an accordion, basically. Luffy hits him head on, like literally on the top of his head with elephant gun. This dude doesn't look like he knows hockey all that.
And I just want to comment. I really like about what I'm seeing is like you do see the economy, because that's such a thing in the real world. Between the poor and rich, you have rich people in our world who just are so like detached from the poor people. They're like everything like things that would be good for them are like shade to them, or they make fun of it. Because that's such a real thing. Like I say, if you know a Burger Town, they're fucking poor, and because of Orochi's bitch ass, they can't stop fucking laughing. So it's like the worst thing ever. And you got these two idiots up here, these two little ass people on a pirate crew making fun of them. No, if it weren't for the fact they were probably they weren't part of Kaido's crew, they'd probably be shit on the ground as well. So I love the fact when Oda does that. I see you were like one thing I love about One Piece, like he really shows like he really mimics our world, I feel, and not like the whole like fish and mermaids and dolphins and that, but for things like the law, the society, like commentary, rich and poor, the people on top, the people on the bottom, the nobles, kings, peasants. I love the way because it really mirrors our world. And so just how bad the society is.
Well, or if he does, he's drunk right now. He's not really paying attention. So this dude's like, Luffy just turned his spine into powder. Like, boom! And it's like an accordion, like, that guy is dead, okay? Elephant gun head on, point blank range, okay? And so, keep in mind, a lot of people are toasty right now, so they notice that something's going on, a commotion on the floor, but they're just like, oh, hey, it's a fight! Fight! Not really aware of the full ramifications. They don't know how screwed they are right now. But, oh yeah, they're screwed. But damn, elephant gun, Jesus, Luffy. Kid is also in the hallway in kind of like a different area. And honestly, Kid was kind of playing it, down low. He was doing the stealth maneuver. He was like, hey, we got these outfits that Kinemon gave us. Yeah, using these, we could sneak right into Kaido's manor and then take him out. Yeah, let's do that. So the thing that Luffy was worried about was Kid was going to ruin the plan. And I'll be honest with you, I thought that was conceivable. I mean, Luffy isn't exactly the most, ninja-esque person either, but Kid also, he can get really hot-headed. I thought, yeah, Kid's probably going to do something similar. But no, whether it be just maybe because Kid has his crew with him, and Killer is honestly much more like of a reasonable guy, and he's like, hey, Kid, maybe we should go in easy and stealthy a little bit. Maybe whatever reason. But yeah, Kid was actually doing this smart. Kid was just sneaking into the crowd. He's like, all right, everyone's like, boom, 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 and he's just like, okay, yeah, and I'm just going to sneak through the crowd and then get to Kaido's manor. So he's like, yeah, we could do this. And now, because Luffy started a fight, kids like, is that guy an idiot or something? Man, they're going to notice him. I'm like, all right, actually, you know what? That's fine. We could sneak in even more because they're going to be focused on dealing with Straw Hats. Screw him. Right as that's happening, one of the towers behind Kid gets slashed in too. So all the people that were inside the tower and all the people on top that were partying on the balcony, they're like, whoa, what the hell? And then Zoro appears, freaking just loom him. It's a badass shot. It's really cool. He just stands there and he's holding the Sandai and he's holding I guess Enma. Yeah, he's holding the Sandai and the Enma, two-sword style, and he's just like, hey, Luffy, come on, man, can't you focus on just the plan for one time in your life? Who the hell just charges into an exhibition hall and launches a high-octane attack in the middle of this entire crowd? Says the guy that just sliced an entire tower in half, honestly probably causing more of a commotion than just Elephant Gun did. And Kid and everybody are just like, these people are insane. That's it. You know what? Screw this. We're just gonna sneak out. Come on, guys. Yeah, let's go. Killer. Let's go. Wire Heat. Let's just go. So everybody is focusing now on Luffy and Zoro, even if they're drunk. I mean, they're not that drunk, you know. All right. So we got somebody just punching the crap out of people with a giant hockey fist, and then we got someone slashing towers in half. I'm not that far into the booze yet. All right, these guys are probably enemies of Kaido, right? What's freaking hilarious, though, is the exchange here between Luffy and Zoro. It's great. So Zoro cuts the tower down. He's like, Luffy, can't you follow the plan just once? I mean, I'm not even asking you to follow the plan every single time, but just once, you know? And then Luffy looks up at Zoro like, Zoro, it's not my fault. They were spoiling and ruining Oshiruko. They were throwing it all over the place. They were wasting it. And Zoro just immediately, he doesn't even have to think about it. He's just up there and he's just like, wait a second, you mean they're wasting Oshiruko? Alright, guess they gotta die then. The reaction to everybody else in the hallway is just like, why does everyone...
And that's why I love the Straw crew, especially because they really like Zoro. Like, I love the fact, Zoro's like kind of like the second command. He is second command to Luffy. And I just love the fact, like you said, just not 1 month. All Luffy had to say, and Zoro's like, well, fuck it. Now we just about to bust all these niggas' head, because they really understand that, and they really felt for Tomoki. He's just saying name, I can't remember her name. But I felt with any of us Straws probably would have dead if they like maybe not Usopp, but almost anyone that would have dead. Not me either. I don't know, but like I feel they all would have been mad too, because they'd be like, they know Tomiki, where they were Toki, I think Toki. They know how poor she is and how much she loved that shit. So just to see them being wasted, like Luffy, they just automatically just would be like, well, we have to kill everybody now, because it's so fucked up, because you got this little girl who's being starved to death, drinking poisoned water, who was eating this Okarusa, and it was the greatest thing she ever had. And you see these two couple fucking idiots wasting, throwing over, and making fun of poor people. Like I think anybody with a good conscience would be like, fuck it, these two gotta die. Like, even for me there, like, I may be against one, but it would have been, especially if I had met Toki, it would have been hard. Like, man, these guys are such jackasses. I made my head's like, I know exactly who I'm kidding on this whole thing starts.
I care so damn much about Oshiruko! I love that, because they have no context. Imagine this guy breaks in and he just starts beating him. How dare you waste Oshiruko? Boom, boom! And Zoro slices all. He's like, I'm just gonna start cutting people down. Like, whoa, why do you care so much about Oshiruko? Keep in mind, once again, by the way, Oshiruko, it's just called Shiruko. Okay, it's a Japanese dessert. It's red bean paste. The O is added like an honorific. It gets added a lot of stuff in, like a lot of words in Japanese. Like, for example, kane means like money in Japanese, but you wouldn't just say like kane. That's sort of like saying like, give me the dough, give me the cash, kane. You would add O kane in front of it. If you're talking about somebody else's job, shigoto means job, but you would add like an O in front of it, so oshigoto, kind of like an honorific for that person's job. All right, so they add O in front of a lot of words in Japanese. But yeah, it's just this red bean paste, really common dessert with some mochi on it sometimes. And these guys are freaking out. I was trying to think of like a Western equivalent to that. I was trying to think of like, okay, what's like a sweet dessert that is relatively cheap to buy in a store, that's not really regarded as like, you wouldn't eat it for like a meal, but if you were really poor and starving to death like Tama was, you know, it would taste amazing. And I landed on pudding. I landed on pudding. Pudding is something that you could go to the store, get pudding, and it's more of a dessert. It's a snack. You wouldn't really eat pudding for an entire meal. But if you were starving in Okabore Town and you gave Tama, here, have a pudding cup, Tama, she'd be like, oh my God, this is the most delicious thing I've ever had in my life. So in the context, it'd be like, it's like, Zoro, they're wasting the pudding. What? They're wasting the damn pudding? All right, we're going to cut them all down. You know, so they just start slicing everybody to pieces, and there's no context here. I love it. So anyway, Queen cut to him on top of his balcony. He's still doing his funky dance, like, oh yeah, everybody get funky tonight. Oh yeah. And then meanwhile, boom's going down to the exhibition hall. He finally realizes, like, whoa, hold up, everybody, hold up. What's going on? It's like, medic, we need a doctor, Lord Queen. Bill got crushed. Oh my God, he's like an accordion. And then the balcony's falling down. There's just dust and debris everywhere. It's like a war zone down in the damn like mosh pit or whatever. Meanwhile, Apu, he gets on the mic and he's where'd my mic go? Okay, he gets on the mic. He's just like, hey, Lord Queen, what's up, my brother? And he's like, oh yeah, what's going on down there in the pit? He's like, well, it seems like we got some uninvited guests down here. We got, give me the spotlight, Straw Hat Luffy bounty 1.5 billion, and we got Rora Nora Pirate Hunter Zoro bounty 320 million. Still 10 million lower than Sanji, but pretty impressive. He doesn't actually say that, but that would be hilarious. And so he announces to the whole hallway, like, spotlights on Luffy and Zoro, so everybody knows who they are, and they're here, and they're just rampaging through the hall, knocking everybody down along the way. So Queen, it doesn't take him long to figure out what's been going on, that he's been hoodwinked. He flashes back to talking to Babanuki at the prison, and he's like, well, they said everything was okay, so that means they must have taken control of him. Babanuki was under control of, Tama's Dango. So Queen realizes, like, all right, they pulled out one under the rug on old Queen. I understand what they're doing. All right, that's fine. That's okay. Little bit of change in the festivities, man. This Golden Kagura is really intense this year. All right, everybody, here's the deal. There's somebody in the Tobiropo I can't stand, so I was planning on killing them by the end of this festival anyway. Tell you what, you catch those two kids, running around causing havoc in my freaking rave, then I'll make you a new member of the Tobiropo. Really? Get to it. Mic drop. Queen out. And then so that lights a fire under a lot of people's asses. Not everybody, mostly just the gifters, and we get a lot of new gifters in this chapter here. We get one that kind of looks like a bee girl. She's like all sexy and she's got horns like every member of the Kaido troop, but she also has like a bee dress on, so I'm assuming a bee smile. And then this other one kind of looks like a Japanese ghost. We see a moose one and a wolf one later. I think the giraffe one's also making an appearance. So we see a bunch of gifters in this chapter. The other members that are not gifters, that are just waiters and pleasures, they just chill out because they're like, well, there's no way that non-smile users could possibly win that prize of being of the Tobiropo, so screw it, I'm just going to chill out and get drunk more, let them handle it, right? So we don't exactly know which member of the Tobiropo that Queen was targeting, which one he just couldn't.
Let me know you guys agree, because like being a smile user, I think is worse. I'd rather just be a regular person, because why the fuck, like, why would anyone some weird ass power, like the back half of my body is a hippo, or I have a lion? So like I think it's so stupid, anybody who takes those fruit, because like you just turn into a fucking freak pretty much. Like you'll just be like a rhino, except the rhino will be your foot, and the rest of your body will be like the rest of, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I would rather be a regular person. Like, I don't want no fucked up thing. There's like a chance you might not even get the ability. Then you'll just be stuck laughing to death forever. So it's like I'd rather be a regular stupid idiot.
Would not stand. There's a few that come to mind. I don't think it was X-Drake, unless Queen found out that X-Drake was a secret member of SWORD and he wanted to remove him. I guess that's possible. But I'm trying to think of like one of the Tobiropo that has like an attitude problem. And so I'm kind of leaning right now on Who's Who or Sasaki, because I believe Who's Who was the one that originally posed the question, like, hey, what would happen if Queen were to happen to die? Which one of us do you think would become the new member of the Calamities, right? So I'm thinking it's either Who's Who or Sasaki. Those ones seem to be the ones that are the most kind of like really ambitious to take the Calamity seat. I mean, they kind of all are, but Page One just seems a little bit too meek, especially when, put up against Ulti. And Black Maria doesn't seem to be causing problems for a lot of people. Ulti, she has has a kind of difficult attitude, but that's also implied to be a new thing, that's not always like how she acts. So I don't know what's up with Ulti, but I'm gonna say it's probably Husu or Sasaki that Queen was planning on getting rid of. And he's like, hey, whoever captures Straw Hat, Luffy, and Zoro and brings them to Kaido, brings them to me, then you get the new Tobiropo seats. So everyone, all the gifters get really excited for that, and they start rushing toward them, and Luffy and Zoro start to kind of realize, oh crap, they're all Smile users, and there's like dozens of them, maybe even hundreds. I'm like, crap, that's probably not a good idea. We should probably just bail. We should probably continue and just fight our way out of here and just keep on going, because we're not even at Kaido's manor proper yet, and we gotta get moving. We have to save our energy, right? So they keep rushing, and then that, good ladies and gentlemen, is when the Sea Roar takes the stage. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen Apu really bust out his music skills, his Tataka Mujiku, his fighting music, which is the name of the chapter, fighting music. That's what he calls his techniques. He used it against Kizaru. We've seen him use the techniques since then. We saw them, and I'm sorry, I can't keep talking. It's so weird having sound, like, muffled with the headphones in. But we saw him fight against Bullet using it in Stampede, but I think in the canon of the manga, this is the first time we've seen him really use this power since Sabaody 2 years ago. So yeah. So as a quick refresher to this, we don't know the name of Apu's Devil Fruit, but it has something to do with summoning musical instruments. So not just summoning sound itself, but he literally has to create musical instruments out of his body. So he can make the lower half of his jaw be a cymbal, so just ching, or he can make the piano teeth that he has.
That's why I love One Piece, just because of Devil Fruit abilities. They be so fucking cool. Like, even just that is really cool. Like, he has a piano teeth with a trumpet. Like, that is so fucking cool. I still don't like his character, but what he can do is fucking amazing. I really love how Oda just comes up with all these interesting ideas for Devil Fruits. Like, where did he come up with the jacket fruit? Was he just like, fuck, I need a new Devil Fruit, like one that's really weak and kind of useless. Honey, can you bring me my jacket? I got it. Like, was it just like that? Like, was he just playing the instruments and thought like the fruit? Like, I wonder how he comes up with these.
He can pound on his chest, and that makes like a drum, like a percussion sound effect. He turned one of his arms into a saxophone. He can do anything he wants with his body. He can turn in any kind of instrument. And when he uses when he summons the sound effects, like the onomatopoeia, that'll actually damage you. So against Kizaru, he used 2 of them. He used scratch, and so he did the symbol, which is sort of like a slash onomatopoeia, and then that managed to just slop off one of Kizaru's arms like that, like whoop, sliced off, and then Kizaru's like, huh? No, what's going on here? And then Apu's like, here we go! Done! Or boom! And then boom! And then pfft, Kizaru's body just explodes. And of course, he's a Logia and he's an admiral, so it doesn't like hurt him at all. He just, reassembles his body with light particles, no problem. And then he takes out Apu. But that was the only time we got to see it. So here we get to see it again. So he keys up a little bit. He's just like, all right, like, okay, checking all the instruments. All right, we're good. Get ready, Straw Hat. This is going to be a musical performance you'll never forget. And so he opens up with like bop, and that's like a punch sound effect, like a bam sound effect. And so the music travels and it smacks Luffy, boom, right in the face, and he smacks him back. He's like, whoa, what the hell was that? I didn't even see that coming. And Zoro's rushing to him. He's like, whoa, what kind of abilities does that guy have? And then he's just like, slash, ching, and then right across Zoro's chest. Like, I think right around the scar where Mihawk cut him 2 years ago. Just shing, and his blood just geysers out of Zoro. Whoa, 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 what the hell? So we have Zoro and Luffy, both really good users of observation hockey, that did not detect this attack coming at all until it was already too late. Just continuing on.
To be fair, I do remember that, but neither did Kizaru. Like, you remember, like, when that fight happened, Kizaru, like, you like say, Kizaru was kind of like, what the fuck, like, so, like, for me, it's not like, you can't say, oh, but how the fuck, like, did they not use observation to catch? Like, how did Kizaru, who's an admiral, who I'm pretty sure has, even with observation that Luffy has now, that he probably still has much better observation hockey, he's more experienced, how did he not see it? So I don't, so if somebody says, like, oh, they shouldn't have saw it, I was like, no, if Kizaru didn't see it, there's no way Zoro or Luffy were going to see it.
On here until we get to the main part. He does do by the way, yeah, he does the same thing that he did with Kizaru. After he attacked Kizaru, he sliced his arm and he blew him up. He was like, check it out! And I think he is actually saying, like, the check it out, he is actually saying that in English, from what I know from the anime. Okay, I went back and rewatched the scene with it. But yeah, that's like his thing. He just, time to open up a concert. Woo, woo, ding, 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 ching, boom, bam, pow! Check it out! That's what he does. And so, he then launches his Dawn, or his Boom, and so he pounds his chest. Boom! And then Luffy just explodes.
That's actually
I don't really have a better way to say it. It's the same thing that happened with Kizaru. Just boom, and then Luffy's like, what the poof? And it knocks him down. It kind of like, he loses consciousness for a little bit there.
Damn.
You know, now he regains consciousness a few moments later, but Zoro has to pick him up. Luffy, what the hell is this guy's power? And they just start running away.
Like,
and Zoro's freaking out like, damn, we are taking way too much damage way too early. Now, Luffy at the end of this chapter seems relatively okay, but still a lot of people were like, what the hell? Apu is just having these crazy, undetectable...
But that's just the ability. That's just dope fruit. And like, if it works against Kizaru, all the reason Kizaru, because Kizaru's just so fucking strong. Like, even now, Kizaru's way stronger than Zoro or Luffy. And then like he's a Logia, so like it's understandable why he wouldn't be hurt. So I understand if people were saying, because we went the whole train montage with Luffy and Zoro was lost armor. So I understand people are mad. But again, if it worked against Kizaru, a fucking admiral with the power of light, then I can't see why it worked against him. I can't be mad.
Unblockable attacks all of a sudden. All right, so let's look through this, because there's a few layers to this, okay? So first off, his power, considering it controls music, musical instruments in particular, and then he, attacks people with music and sound, I'm assuming his attacks move at the speed of sound. I mean, that's probably a standard, all right? So the second that he launches the boom, it's probably already hitting you. I mean, it depends. I mean, the further away you are, the further it takes the sound to travel. But, it seems like he's pretty close proximity to everybody. So the second he does the boom, the second he does the scratch or the pow, it's going to hit you pretty much like in less than, probably less than a modicum of a second for how fast sound moves, okay? Also, it's going to be invisible because you can't see sound, all right? And from what Oda is showing us here, observation haki also doesn't help you, because Luffy's really good at observation haki, especially after his battle with Katakuri, and Zoro's also really good at it too. The fact that it both hit them and they're flabbergasted. They have no idea what's going on. They're like, Zoro's like, I didn't sense his attack. Where did it come from? I didn't see it like attacking me. You don't actually experience like the damage until it's actually happening, okay? So it really does appear here in this chapter, Apu's attacks at the bare minimum are undetectable until they're happening, so that it basically makes them unblockable. I did think about something. Maybe the person actually getting attacked has to hear the sound. That might not be the case, even if Apu is attacking a body part. Like, I'm not attacking your head where you hear sound, I'm attacking your body, like Kizaru. But when he was fighting Kizaru, he did make sure to say, is the music reaching you? Navy Admiral Kizaru? And so maybe he might have been saying that just because he's a DJ, and he's like, is that music reaching you? All right. He might have been doing it just for that reason, or he might have actually said it because that is a prerequisite for his power. You have to actually hear the music in order for it to damage you, okay? Kind of similar to Rose's Bankai from Bleach. In which case, Luffy Zoro, you could just do a Maste Masculine and just rip out your eardrums. That just popped your eardrums. Then you should be good. Downside is you can't hear, but this is One Piece we're talking about, so, just drink some milk and you'll probably be fine. No, they're probably not going to do that. I don't even know if that's a stipulation, but if it isn't, this is a pretty strong attack, that you can't be dodged at all. Now, the thing with Kizaru I want to bring up. Kizaru is obviously a Marine Admiral, so he would be way more gifted at observation haki than probably even Luffy is right now, because he's a Navy Admiral, okay? Kizaru still got hit with the attacks, so that's even more evidence to say observation haki doesn't matter, but you also have to think that Kizaru is not the best example here, because Kizaru is a very unusual kind of character. And he walks around and half the time he doesn't even know, it seems like he doesn't even know what he's doing. Other times he's
like the anime version of Wiz Khalifa, just always fucking baked. Like, he just doesn't care. Because even got his hand chopped off, he was kind of like, what the fuck? He's like, I started smoking that shit. What was that? So he's definitely right, but still, I do think even if he's unusual, he's still a fucking Navy Admiral. All admirals can use all three types of haki, So I definitely think, like, even if he is a bit not here, his observation haki still has to be crazy.
Seems like he's on the job. So, Apu starts doing his little dance number, and Kizaru's just like, huh? What's going on? Oh, my arm's lopped up. Boom! Oh, I'm exploding. Okay. So it might be that he could have sensed it with his observation. It's just he didn't care
Luffy
because
was
he's
too powerful.
Kizaru. He doesn't give a shit. He's just like, I'm made of light. There's nothing he could do to hurt me. So that's the case. I'm going to go, though, right now and say that observation has nothing to do with this. You can't use it to detect his attacks, okay? Once again, Luffy was relatively okay. He was knocked unconscious and he came to a couple of moments later. But, you know, Zoro got slashed and got some damage out on them and they were surprised by his techniques, okay? I thought of a few ways you can maybe get around this. One of them maybe is to coat your entire body in armament hockey. Now, every time we see someone do that in the story, and when we see, like, Virgo do that, Law immediately wrecked his day. When we saw Pika do that, Zoro immediately slashed up his day. So every time we see someone go full body armament, it's never a good idea. But maybe if that's used, it would at least lessen the damage. Because it seems like, yeah, you're going to get hit by this attack. Now, later in this chapter, Apu also did state that there was a range. So there's probably, like, a point where you're so far away that the sound, even if it travels, it gets weakened. Because, you know, the sound wave would get weaker the further it goes out. Okay, so there is a range for his ability. That's another weakness. But yeah, I mean, like, he's a supernova, and he's going to be playing kind of a role here in this arc, I figured. So, you know, just like how Beiji had his big father, just like I'm sure whenever Aru shows up, he's going to have some crazy powerful ability. They're not as strong as Luffy and everybody, but they're still supernovas. They're still super rookies, and Apu has been on Kaido's crew for a very long time now, apparently probably honing his skills and training. So, you know, it's just he has an ability that if you don't know what it is, if you get caught off guard, yeah, you're going to be wondering what the hell is even happening right now. But once again, aside from getting essentially a stick of dynamite just blown up right in front of him, because that's what this is. I mean, you don't see the explosion coming. It doesn't happen around you. No, it's like Apu just lit like a bundle of dynamite and just shoved it right here in your chest. I'm like, all right, just keep that there until it, you know, the fuse runs out. I'm like, okay, boom, and that's basically what happened to Luffy. It happened to Kizaru too, the same exact amount of damage, but Kizaru being a Logia, it didn't really matter to him. Luffy, it's like, oh crap, a big explosion happened right in front of me. That's gonna hurt. No matter how strong you are, it's gonna hurt a little bit, right? Just take that amount of damage. So, and I'm sure also Luffy and Zoro probably this whole time were like, okay, we can rely on our observation hockey to sense incoming attacks. So we'll be okay. And then out of nowhere, it's like, boom! What the fuck? Oh, okay, what? Boom! Like, so, you know, it comes out of nowhere, really. So they all get knocked down. Zoro grabs Luffy and he just, okay, crap, we can't be taking this much damage this early. We need to book it out of here. So they try to escape. All of the gifters in the hall just start unloading, like arrows, bullets, launching special attacks. There's a wolf smile user, kind of like hold him, had the lion in his stomach. This guy has a wolf coming out of his stomach, a wolf's head. So that goes to try to bite them. That's when Luffy regains consciousness and he bites the wolf's head instead, and the wolf's like, ow! And Luffy's like, it's okay, Zoro, I'm all right. It's just like, yeah, okay, cool, awesome. And so they finally just take off the uniforms, they take off the outfits. It's like, man, it was hard to move around in those things anyway. So I guess if you want an excuse, of like, that's the reason why Zoro and Luffy got attacked and off guard, because they were wearing uncomfortable BDSM outfits. You can't move around really much in tight leather, you know. So it's good that they got rid of it. No, that's probably Apu's power is going to be a little bit difficult to deal with. But I'm thinking they're going to figure out a way around it. Like, wait a second, okay, we can't sense the attacks coming, but there's other ways we can get around it. Or maybe they won't have to after what you see at the end of this chapter, all right? So, last scene of the chapter, not a very particularly long chapter, last scene of the chapter, Apu, after seeing them, they're taking off their outfits, Luffy's regained consciousness, he's like, hey, you're still in my firing range, check this out, I'm gonna drop that base, oh yeah! But then at that exact moment, Kid shows up, and Killer's just kind of like, Kid, don't do it, don't run in, we can get out of here. Kid's like, nah, screw this, Killer, he's the one that ruined everything, you damn backstabbing traitor. And Apu's like, oh yeah, you... Oh, Kid. Oh, no, Kid, no, I'm sorry! And then the chapter ends with Kid jumping into the air and activating his magnetic fruit, charging up a giant magnetic hand, metal arm, and he's like, Punk Gibson! Boom! And he just palms freaking Apu into the side of a wall, just crushed like a damn spider. You see his arms sticking out. I don't think he had time to activate armament hockey. I mean, maybe he did, but it seemed like it really came out of nowhere. That's another weakness of his power.
I just forgot, like, he was the one that portrayed it, you know, Kid, and you know, Kid and the other guys were, you know, who were there. I think it was like X-Rays and then like the like voodoo guy, whatever his name is, you know, the one that does the car shit. I can't remember his name. I think he betrayed all of them. So he about to die. Kid about to be kid gonna
is
kill
that
him.
he has to direct the
before this
music
is
at a
over.
specific target. I'm assuming that's how it works. Like, in a large crowd of people like this, more than one person's going to hear his music. So maybe his fighting music is, I'm only specifically targeting Straw Hat Luffy and Roronoa Zoro. So all the other people in the hallway that can hear the same exact sounds I'm making, they're not going to be affected by my boom, pow, slash, zing. I wonder what attack would be zing. I don't know. But anyway, they don't hear, they hear the music, but they don't get affected. So it's like a pinpointed kind of attack. It's like, if you can hear this sound, boom, it's the second you hits your eardrums, it's going to afflict you, okay? Maybe it's something like that. But if he's distracted, he's focused on Luffy and Zoro, Kid comes out of nowhere and just boom, slams him into the side of the wall. So I guess Apu's observation hockey isn't that good either, or maybe he can't use it while he's activating his Devil Fruit. He's too focused on the main target, like his audience. He has to be focused on his main audience, not anybody else around him. So that could be another weakness there too. But yeah, that's where the chapter ends. Punk Gibson, another new attack from Kid. Not really much different from the Punk Rotten. It seems to just be like, Punk Rotten is when I take my giant metal arm and punch something really hard. But Punk Gibson is a technique where I open up the palm of the metal arm and then slap something into the side of the wall really hard. Gibson, of course, being the a company that produces guitars. So there you go. There, once again, going along with it. It's very apropos that Kid, the guy whose crew is based off like an '80s heavy metal rock band, attacks Apu, who's like the rapping DJ. Both kind of musical influenced in a way, So that's the end of the chapter. Now, is Apu down for good?
Probably not.
I'm going to say no. But I mean, that's one thing Oda could do. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm going to show you what Apu's powers were. They were really strong, and Luffy and Zoro were having trouble. But then Kid came out of nowhere and just pounded him. Also, this is a callback to Sabaody because Apu and Kid also had like an interchange back at Sabaody. They were like looking at each other funny in a bar, and then Kid just explodes the wall, and he's like, you looking at me funny? Let's do this. You want to fight? Let's fight, man. And Apu's like, all right, well, let's do this. Let's go. Check it out. Okay, whatever. So that kind of goes full circle. Also, the whole traitor thing. They were forming an alliance with Hawkins. It was Hawkins, the Kid pirates, and then the on-air pirates, Apu's crew. But Apu turns out was an operative for Kaido the entire time and just fooled both Hawkins and Kid at that moment. So Kid is mighty pissed about all this. Wonder why Hawkins' tarot cards didn't tell him about that little incident. Today, you will be backstabbed by a traitor. I choose not to listen to my tarots today. Maybe his fortune telling's not exactly perfect. That's another thing, too. There are a lot of people like, man, Apu's really OP in this chapter. Honestly, something that I find even more OP than that is that reveal earlier on in Wano where Hawkins' tarot cards can now warp reality, apparently, depending on how they turn out. Like, that was something else. I'm like, wait, what? He could do what now? When was that explained? I guess his tarot cards warp reality now. Okay, fine. Compared to that, he just has sound and it attacks you and explodes you now. Now, if Luffy got unconscious and he was still out of it and he was like knocked out at the end of this chapter, I would be like, wow, yeah, that is a pretty damn strong technique, right? But I think there are a few ways around it, and we're probably just going to get a straight up fight between Kid and Apu now, because that's been hinted at quite a bit. So I don't think Apu is down for good. He's going to be alive. Maybe he did use armament and he survived a little bit. Maybe he used like sound. Maybe he used sound to protect himself or something. I don't know. It might be some way to get out of this attack without a lot of damage. But then Kid is going to get on Apu, and we're going to and then we're going to see a full battle there between two supernovas, and that's going to be like Kid's main moment to shine. All the stuff that he can do that we haven't really witnessed yet. So that's going to be really cool there. But I gotta say, we haven't really focused on Apu all that much. Next to Arouge, I think he's one of the supernovas that doesn't really get that much spotlight, so it was nice to see what he could really do in this chapter. I would have liked it to also reveal the name of his Devil Fruit. This seemed like the perfect chapter to do that. But maybe next chapter we'll get that. Yeah, the name of Apu's fruit in 2 weeks, because there's another break. That's okay. I can do another Return to Reverie chapter next week, so that's fine with me. That's fine with you. That's fine with me. So, it's going to be really fun. But, let me know below what you think about Queen and the whole Tobi Roppo speech. Who do you think it's going to be? I think it's going to be Sasaki or Who's Who. And, Luffy and Zoro, I think their best bet right now would be to try to find a safe spot, maybe even retracing their steps to get out of there. They run back into all the other Straw Hats and be like, okay, so... Well, good news is, Nami, like Zoro's like, good news, Nami, I at least found him. Bad news, we took a little bit of eensy-bitty damage. Zoro's like bleeding from the chest. Luffy's like coughing up smoke. Yeah, we took a little bit of damage. It's okay, though. You know, honestly, I kind of want a moment where they sit down and they're just like, guys, you gotta stop rushing in. This
Like
kind of
literally.
stuff happens. Just follow the plan. Luffy, I know, but can you just follow the plan a single time? And just see how
Get
it
into
works.
the
And if it
skull.
doesn't work out the way you like, then don't ever follow any plan again. I mean, not, but yes, but just this once. So I don't know if they're going to retreat back the way they came, or they're just going to keep advancing while Kid is attacking Apu, because it seemed like Apu was the main threat. Yeah, you had a lot of other gifters and headliners like attacking them from every angle. There was also a Moose headliner, which you don't want to mess with that Moose headliner. It might have been just a gifter. I don't know if he was a headliner, but you don't want to mess with the Moose guy. Moose are angry. Okay, so anyway, they might just try to escape or get to somewhere like maybe not moving forward, but maybe to the side. There seems like a lot of places you could hide in this exhibition hall to just try and chill out for a bit. But Apu was the major threat because he had this long range, undetectable, unblockable ability they really couldn't wrap their heads around. So yeah, I mean, it's not like your Kizaru. I mean, hey, Kizaru, he was faster than sound and yet didn't actually, well, because he's light, but sound is whatever. That's not it. Kizaru isn't here right now. That's not important. Although I guess he could conceivably arrive pretty quickly given his power. But yeah, all right. Well, anyway, that was chapter 980. Let me know what you thought below. This will be Tekking and Bearing signing out. Yeah.
Alright guys, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, it's one of my longer videos, so I hope you guys did enjoy. Like I said, it's not I wasn't the most entertaining. I was trying to like let it play and jump in, why I couldn't get my thoughts and opinions. But I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, like I said, like there's just definitely I get where people are mad, like, oh my god, he beat the fuck out of Louis and Zero. It was like he one shotted them, and his ability does kind of like I said, if his ability was to affect Kizaru, a fucking Navy admiral with the light fruit who can move at the speed of lightning shit, and who has all details of hockey, and I'm pretty sure his hockey is crazy. Is even now crazy more better than Luffy or Zoro, and he has more experience using it. Like it's definitely gonna hit him, like he said, maybe they'll let everything. So I can see what people are mad, but at the same time, I think it's just I think like I said, the whole Kizaru thing just for me like that's more than enough for me. No, okay, yeah, if it worked on Kizaru, we're gonna work on them. But anyway, guys, yeah, I hope that's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, let me know in the down below. What else you guys want me to react to? Make sure to check out the link below the description as well as his channel. Please support him because he is amazing. Make sure to check out the link below the description. I own nothing. This is all tech. This is my reaction. And make sure to like, subscribe, and share if you guys enjoyed it. I'm checking them out. Peace.